I'm Edvardy Jackson, and here I have.
I'm Cynthia Moy, also known as Bipolar Gossamer on YouTube.
For the longest time, I thought it was called Go Summer. That helps a lot. All right, so today we are going to be talking about a little bit about because school is starting for a lot of folks. Luckily for me, I am not starting school until the beginning of September. But as
Oh my God, what?
yeah, it's like
Oh, I
September 10th.
started I started Monday. I
Insanity.
already am swamped with homework. I
I mean, so you're in college. So tell me a little bit about like your how college is going and your experiences with college so far. Even though it's only been a couple of days, have you been to college before?
um yeah, so right now I'm at U of I in Urbana-Champaign, and it is my first year here since 4 years ago when I came for my freshman year right out of high school. I was here for like 2 months before I got super stressed out and my bipolar was just getting out of control. And then I went home, I got well, started doing classes that spring at community college and was also working simultaneously. Basically, for the last 4 years, I've just been taking classes at CLC and working. And I finally just decided to come back. It's a long story about like my major and stuff. I'm not gonna go into that now, but basically the month before I went to, or the month before I got here was so stressful, like with my parents, with school, with my life. But literally in 1 or 2 days, it all got sorted out. We're all good now. That's good. And right now, honestly, the biggest trouble I'm having is sleeping properly because I made a mistake of getting my sleep schedule like out of whack, and I just have to like get back into that because now I'm only sleeping like 5.5 hours of sleep a night because I can't fall asleep and then I wake up early. So honestly, school is great, and I definitely recommend all of you guys to stay in school and go to college because honestly, it's not even about the degree, it's just a great experience, I think, even if you're getting a degree in something that's not necessarily completely useful. You don't have to go to an expensive college or anything. Go to college and like have that sense of prestige. And it honestly, it's a great experience socially and just to find yourself. I think it's important that you do that instead of just jumping into the workforce.
Hmm. So okay, so tell me a little bit because as you told me just now, and you told the group, so you're juggling college and school with a job. So what like what is that like? What is it like having to separate your schedule between work and school?
I actually am not working right now. I was working until literally the last week before I left at home, but I didn't get a job here yet. I probably will eventually. I just want to like settle in first, and I'm sure like I can easily get an on-campus job because like dining halls literally always need people, and some of those people are so slow. You don't even know. But I think I could be good at that. But right now it's literally just activities in school, and I'm also rushing a couple of Asian sororities. So that's rough, like fitting all that into my schedule. But like after a couple weeks and after rush dies down and like I get my schedule really in place, I think it'll be a lot better and I can sleep better. Yeah.
So okay, so you have a channel that's related to mental health, and on your channel you have very much gone into detail about how you did struggle with bipolar disorder. I myself have also struggled with bipolar disorder. So for the audience that doesn't know what bipolar disorder is and hasn't gone to your channel yet, kind of explain to them from your experience or what it's like.
Um, that's a good question. There's a lot, and there's a lot like stigma around it. People think they know what it's like, but honestly, nobody knows what it's really like until they have it. And even then, you don't ever know what anyone else is going through because everyone experiences bipolar disorder differently. For me, it's mostly been dealing with mania and trying to just stay out of the whole like hallucination, delusions, and just not sleeping like any more than an hour or two at a time. And by at a time, I mean like every night or every other night. I could be up for like 24 hours, no problem.
Yeah, same.
And eventually I crash, and then I just fall into depression. So that's mostly the like thing for me. Um, I've been pretty stable for the most part recently. I have gone through like some close calls, but I've had experience with this, like probably 10 plus years at this point, and all this experience has taught me how to notice changes within myself and um, adjust your lifestyle to accommodate for the mood changes. And I honestly wouldn't change a thing about my life, even though it was hardcore rough for those 10 years. I am happy where I am now, and I think that life has a lot to offer.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I think a big part of bipolar disorder coming from from someone who also has it is a big part of it is that you don't really understand what's going on
Mhm.
at first, and you so when you relapse, it usually comes as a shock because it's like things seem fine, and in certain cases you feel very happy and you're happy to feel happy, but slowly you're going backwards in a sense, and it's a very confusing a mental illness.
Yeah, I definitely can relate to that. Like, when you're feeling that high, you don't want to leave it. You don't want to go back to normal. You don't want to go back into depression. But the thing is, if you don't manage it, it will bring you higher to the point where you won't be able to think properly or do things properly. And then there will come a point where you just crash and fall into deep depression. And for me, I think of it as like kind of a wave. And like, with sound waves and stuff, there's like amplitude and whatever. And
Yeah,
there's also frequency. So like with bipolar disorder, I mean with everyone, there's always a little fluctuation, but with bipolar disorder, it's a lot harder to keep like relatively near the middle. It's more like you go really high and then the higher you go, the lower you go after that. And it's just like hard to just be like, I don't know if I want to call it normal because I don't really believe in a normal life, but it's hard to maintain like stability when you have bipolar disorder. And when you let yourself get hypomanic into mania and all that, you crash really hard and you fall into depression worse than you would have if you had just turned around earlier.
absolutely, absolutely. You know, it's just the beauty. I think though that having bipolar disorder minus its drawbacks, do you ever feel like it also has like its positives? Like for me personally, I know how it feels to be on the extreme ends of the spectrum. Extremely happy, extremely depressed, extremely angry. And it
For
kind
sure.
of gives you like a different perspective on different things. So I wanted to hear how it's not a positive, but does it have any positives for you?
Like bipolar disorder in general.
Yeah, just like like the what so there's some drawbacks, but like also like stuff that you would say it's kind of cool, something like that.
Um, I honestly like how perceptive I can be. And yeah, when I'm a little hypo, I do things a lot faster. But that if controlled, it's very effective. You can get all the work done that you neglected when you were depressed. And when you fall into depression, it's just like you reflect upon life and you figure things out within yourself because you're thinking way too much and you feel bad about stuff. But it's like, I think that's the biggest thing. Productivity when you're like higher and feeling happy and doing stuff, and then also having that reflection time. Because I feel like, okay, I've always been kind of in the middle between introverted and extroverted. And like, I think around junior, senior year of high school, I switched from mostly introverted to mostly extroverted, but I'm still like in the 50s range, not anywhere like crazy or 50%, you know, like 50, like 4% extroverted and whatever. I can't math, but yeah, you get the point.
Absolutely.
But basically, that I think is the best thing about it. Like just having both parts of you working together to get like the most things done and living the best way you can, honestly.
That and that again, it's and that's really the interesting part of about this. So that is really nice to hear. I'll be right back. We are gonna go take a short break. All right, and we're back after the short break. Yeah. So, so that's a really interesting thing. We gotta close up soon, but I also wanted to ask you about, some of your experiences with social interaction and interpersonal relationships. Like, for example,
Ooh.
yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. So when I was I don't know. I want to say younger, like middle school and high school. Like middle school is rough. Like I don't know what to say other than I did not know how social circles worked, and I was that kid that nobody wanted to be around just because of the way I acted and because of the way I acted because of bipolar disorder. Um, but when I got to high school, it was a lot calmer. People weren't as mean as they were in middle school, but I did some things in middle school that weren't so good, and people that I met would hear from people that knew me the things that I did in middle school, and it was hard to make friends at first. In sophomore year, I did find a group, and it was nice, except they weren't always the most mature or friendly. I can't say they weren't friendly, but like they weren't mature.
Yeah.
So they would make jokes that were hurtful or like do things that were just like, why, you know? So senior year, I joined a different group. I don't really talk to any of them anymore, but honestly, senior year was the most calm and successful year that I've had. And then I went to U of I and then things crashed again. But since then I've gone through my highs and lows, but socially I think I've become a lot better in maintaining long-term friendships and being able to manage like the way I act and the way I treat other people.
Mhm.
I think that just comes with age too. More experience and just knowing yourself and what you can do and what you can't do and knowing how to communicate with other people. Like it all comes with time. So any of you younger people or people that were just diagnosed recently and you feel like you can't maintain friendships or relationships with family or like significant others, don't worry. Just keep trying and persevering. You'll eventually get there because the worst thing you can do is give up. I know a lot of people that either give up or just don't go in for help in the first place. And those are like the two things that I feel like hurt you the most. Um, so yeah, that was my take. I actually have to go now.
All right.
I have class,
Oh
but
yeah. Good luck with
yeah,
that.
thank
Good
you. All
talking to
right.
you, and See you next time.
Yeah. One thing I want to say though is I'm gonna be uploading these videos to my channel every um let's every month. I think it's gonna be the last Friday of the month for now. I'm
Hmm.
also uploading every Friday at 2 p.m. for any of you watching this, so stay tuned. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel, and also Edvardi's here. He does a tech channel and does documentaries about cool things too. I will put his channel in the comments below. Please subscribe to both of us, and we will be back with more content.
All right. See ya.